Good morning, and happy day after St. Patrick's Day. It's a little late, this message. I was planning on doing it last night, but I was just tired, anxious, sad, exhausted. So instead, we get a nice bright and early 7:30 a.m. So I just wanted to again share a little bit of the prayer that I read yesterday morning on St. Patrick's Day. And again in just a moment, and share a little story once again. So to start off, I wanted to just say that I've been thinking and praying and empathizing and with so many of you students and friends and family, and just recognizing the different paths we are now on in regards to everything. I was talking to one student who's a student teacher yesterday and realizing, okay, this is going to look different now. What does this mean? Am I going to graduate? I will graduate, but when? Nurses doing clinicals, same thing. Internships, all across the majors. Getting in those hours, well, places are shutting down. So it can seem hopeless in a way. And here at home, we've just continued, Stace, my wife, has continued to been a little ill. And so it's just been me and the boys. And at times, there are times when it can seem pretty hopeless there. So especially coming on the heels of yesterday with the announcement going out to all of campus that residential students are now being asked to leave campus, I wanted to share the morning prayer psalm. So the psalm for yesterday, hopefully this rings true with some of you. Psalm 18, it really struck me. I feel like God is definitely trying to speak in some way through these psalms that are in my little morning prayer book here. So Psalm 18. I love you, Lord, my strength. O Lord, my rock, my fortress, my Savior. My God, my rock where I take refuge. My shield, my saving strength, my stronghold. In my anguish I called to the Lord. I cried to my God for help. In the heavenly temple my voice was heard. My crying reached God's ears. The earth then reeled and rocked. The mountains were shaken to their base, quaking at the anger of God. From on high, God reached down and seized me, drew me forth from the mighty waters, and saved me from my powerful foe, from my enemies whose strength I could not match. They assailed me in the day of my misfortune, but the Lord was my strong support, bringing me out to a place of freedom, saving me indeed with delight. So I guess I'll just keep this short. One story I wanted to share from yesterday with the boys, in this idea of plans completely being altered and going another direction and crying out in these times of uncertainty, sadness, and frustration. But I went and launched a model rockets with the boys yesterday. And we launched one and went straight up in the air, and it was perfect. And then we decided to launch a second one and put in an engine that'll make it go higher than the previous one. And, well, let's just say it was kind of a failure because the rocket went up and shot straight sideways and smacked into the ground, which didn't really scare us too much, but frightened me a little bit more than the boys because I don't think they understood what happened. Kind of like what's going on right now with everything else. The boys have no idea what's going on. But it's the idea of like, rocket was supposed to go up, and instead it went sideways into the ground. How much does that feel like our lives right now, wherever we're at? I'll just share that we continue. A lot of you know that we recently lost our baby, Patrick, in January, and we're still dealing with that in grief and in moments of grief. And a lot of times I feel like my rocket's going up and then it shoots straight sideways into the ground. I think the point being, maybe God's trying to say something to us in this psalm from yesterday. And I think the question we want to ask ourselves is, do we believe that we do have a God who is going to reach down and seize me and draw me forth from these mighty waters? Might seem a little extreme, but perhaps that's where you're at. Maybe not. Maybe it's still waters, but God will still reach down and get you, and hold you and support you. And as it ends, I just realized this at the end, bringing me out to a place of freedom, saving me indeed with delight. God delights in us, and somehow we've got to continue to move forward with hope that all will be well, and yet take action to help those around us, and keep in prayer and trust in God. So, have a good day. Maybe I'll do a special on St. Patrick later. Peace.